Good evening. Good evening, and welcome. I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight for the 10th anniversary of CDC's Autism Awareness Month event. My name is Robin Ikeda, and I serve as the Deputy Director for Non-Communicable Disease, Injury, and Environmental Health here at CDC. Before we get started, I'm supposed to remind everyone to turn off any devices that might make a noise, so thank you very much. When we first started these awareness events a decade ago, it was with the intention of giving back to the Metro Atlanta community. I've had the honor of attending several of these events over the years, and this year I'm especially pleased that some of my family members were able to join us. My husband, Jonathan, our two college-age daughters, Lisa and Claire, and my nephew, Jacob, who's also a college student and visiting us from New York City. As someone on the spectrum, Jake has helped our family understand what it means to live with autism. And when I asked him whether it would be okay if I mentioned that tonight, he said, and I quote, but I can't say it as well as Jake does, he said, "Heck yeah, proud to be an Aspie." And as someone who's also in the midst of the transition to adulthood, I hope he will also share some of his wisdom with us tonight. So thanks to the families, educators, and healthcare providers in our community and sitting in the audience tonight, we know so much more about autism than we did just 10 years ago. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all of the work that you do. It really means a lot. And during this time, we've learned more about the number and characteristics of children living with autism through the Metropolitan Atlanta Developmental Disabilities Surveillance Program. With community support, we launched the study to explore early development to better understand what puts children at risk for autism. And thanks to you, materials from the Learn the Science Act Early program have been disseminated across the state to help promote early identification of autism. And of course, this event would not have been possible either tonight or over the past 10 years without the work and dedication of our local autism partners. So many, many, many thanks to our partners as well. Over the years, we've been informed and inspired by our keynote speakers who are either on the spectrum or have a personal connection to autism and are actively engaged as authors, educators, public speakers, advocates, or other professionals working to improve the lives of those living with autism. We've also been greatly inspired by performances by children and adults with autism. They've made us laugh, they've made us cry, and they've made us want more. And we've been educated, informed, and inspired during the panel discussions over the years as we've learned, discovered, and increased our awareness and acceptance and received heartfelt suggestions about ways that we might better understand what it means to live with autism. You may have heard the saying, if you know one person with autism, you only know one person with autism. Tonight, we're here to expand our awareness and to go beyond the statistics and data and to celebrate the unique perspectives of children and adults living with autism. So we're going to get started. I'd like to welcome to the stage Dr. Joe Snezik, who's going to introduce tonight's Autism Awareness to the Arts performers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ikeda. I'm Joe Snezik. I'm the Acting Division Director for our Division of Congenital and Developmental Disorders. And I'm glad you all could join us tonight, and I'm glad you got through the traffic in Atlanta. How many people had a hard time getting here because of traffic? Yeah, it's just awful anymore. So tonight we're very fortunate to have the Hope Squad with us. So they're going to perform for us. I've heard it's very exciting. I heard there's a lot of surprises. And they're directed by Andy Jones. And the Hope Squad comes to us from the Jacobs Ladder Center in Roswell, Georgia. Jacobs Ladder is a private neurodevelopmental school and therapy center that serves students pre-K all the way through high school. And they're a leader and highly regarded across the country. They serve kids with any kind of neurological problems. So let's welcome to the stage Andy Jones and the Hope Squad.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Hey everybody, my name's Andy, thank you, Aaron. And I teach improv to kids who maybe learn a little bit differently. This is my third year partnering up with Jacob's Ladder, the Neurodevelopmental School and Therapy Center. That's a mouthful. Try saying that 5 times really fast. Okay, so what we're gonna do tonight is some improv comedy. So if you're familiar with improv, clap. Okay, so this performance has never been performed before. It will never be performed again. Once in a lifetime performance tonight, doing some improv. Would you guys like to meet the actors? Okay, so first of all, the lovely and talented Molly. Everybody say hi, Molly. Hi, Molly. Everybody say hi, Kyla. Hi, Kyla. Everybody say hi, John. Hi, John. Everybody say what's up, Jake. What's up, Jake? Everybody say hi, Chapman. Hi, Chapman. Hello, JB. Hello, JB. And hello, my friend Jackson. I love that y'all follow directions. That's wonderful. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you guys for suggestions. So we're going to take your suggestions, your very creative suggestions, because we need to use our imagination, right, guys? Of course. We're going to plug them into some scenes. There's no script. There's no lines, because Kyla, what am I?
A big dumb animal.
Right. I'm a big dumb animal. I can't remember lines. That's why I like improv, because you just kind of make it up and go along with it. If you haven't seen improv, you'll see how it works pretty soon. The first scene we're going to do is a classroom scene. These guys are all between 10 and 16, right?
Right.
Did I remember? I remembered something.
Yeah, you
okay.
remembered.
So we're going to have a classroom scene. We're going to have Jackson will be the teacher. All of the other students will be sitting in their chairs as Jackson presents his lecture on whatever wonderful suggestion that we get, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the students, their emotions or their feelings throughout the lecture. You'll see how it works. If it doesn't make sense, it will in about 30 seconds. So, students, grab your seats. Professor Jackson, come on over. Now, here's the part where you give suggestions. Don't be shy, just yell stuff out. What is Professor Jackson's lecture on this evening? Whoa, in the back. What was that? The history of drywall. I like it. You know what drywall is?
No.
Well, that'll make it even better. Drywall is what you make walls out of in your house. So, on construction. Okay, got it? Okay, so, again. What Jackson's going to do is deliver a lecture, a very scholastic lecture on construction, specifically building walls using drywall. The students will be listening to the lecture. If they have a question, they can ask the teacher questions. I'm going to change their feelings or their emotions throughout the scene. It's called the Feelings Classroom. Let's give them a hand. And we will see this scene in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, class. Today we're going to be learning about the history of drywall.
Really excited.
All right, class. Okay. You guys are all excited about learning about how to, let me just see what it is.
Teacher. There are no phones in school.
Oh, my phone died. Who cares?
Disappointed.
So disappointed.
Don't worry, I can just charge it. People. So anyway, how you make drywall? You basically take this. I have no clue what this is because I'm not an expert in construction.
Confused.
Huh? What is that?
More
It's
confused.
okay, you got me there. I don't know.
Class about? What?
I'm going to poke you.
Molly, sit down. But
Who are you?
I'm your teacher. To be honest, though, I don't even know what drywall is. To be honest.
Then Then why
Sassy,
are you here?
really sassy.
Sit down.
Class, you know what? I don't like y'all's attitude. You're all getting detention.
Terrified.
Class, it's not all that bad. You can catch up on y'all's homework.
You're really bored.
And y'all got tons of it. Here's all y'all's homework.
You're boring.
Well, boring is better than goofy.
I threw the homework.
Well, I guess I'll have to call your parents then.
Apologetic.
I'm so sorry.
Everyone, quiet.
So sorry.
Quiet. Yeah, you can be sorry, but the thing is, the damage has already been done.
You
So-
all think you're chickens.
Well, I guess it's time to call KFC. Excuse me, I got a bunch of chickens here who need to be sent to y'all's closest restaurant ASAP.
You're being attacked by a swarm of bees.
This bees are me.
And scene! All right, so, yes! Give him a hand. And I do realize that acting like a chicken and being attacked by a swarm of bees are not technically feelings or emotions, but we improvise. We roll with stuff, okay? So as everybody's moving their chairs back into that corner, the next game that we're going to play, it's an improv game called Kyla's Party. Kyla, come on up. So Kyla is having a party. What kind of party is Kyla having this evening? A Sweet 16 party. I love it. Thank you, young man. All right, so Sweet 16 party. So the scene will open. Kyla will be setting up for her party. She'll be putting out snacks. She'll be putting up maybe some streamers, whatever kind of decorations you would have at a Sweet 16 party. Each other actor will enter the party. They will give Kyla a gift. And then each actor is going to move around in an unusual way. I like to call it a silly walk. If you guys are Monty Python fans, you know what silly walk means, okay? As each actor enters, all the other actors will mirror the other person's silly walk. Again, like I said before, if it doesn't make sense, it will in a few seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kyla's Sweet 16 party. You guys can help me count down. We will see this scene in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, hey, Chapman.
I got you a 16.
Oh, thanks.
Excuse me.
Nice.
Hey, John.
Here, I got you a dress.
Thanks.
Da da
Nice.
da 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 da. Da.
Hey, Jake. No way. You got me my favorite American Girl doll. Thanks. Hey.
Got you a new swimsuit.
Thanks.
I know exactly what I'm going to in honor of him.
That's funny as heck.
What's up?
I got you some fruit juice.
Oh, not again with the prune juice thing.
Wait, I thought you were 116.
Oh, thanks. Hey, Molly.
Hey, I got you a Project MC Square doll.
Yes!
Witch!
I'm a witch!
I'm playing Quidditch.
I'm a witch!
I'm playing Quidditch.
I'm playing Quidditch. I'm a witch.
I'm gonna catch the snitch.
I'm
Great job, guys.
That was so much fun.
All right, that's just a little taste of what happens at Jacob's Ladder on Wednesdays. So real quick, let's give your appreciation to Jackson, Chapman, yes, JB, take a bow, yeah, Jake, yes, John, come on up, Sweet 16, Kyla, and last but not least, the lovely and talented Molly. All right, thanks again to the CDC for having us. If you guys want to meet the actors, we'll be hanging around all night. So we're going to go out that door. Stand away, stand away. What did I tell you? I told you stand away.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, what an amazing performance. Let's have another round of applause for our performers. Hi, I am Nicole Dowling. I am the branch chief for the Developmental Disabilities branch here at CDC, and it is such a pleasure to see you all here tonight and to welcome you to CDC. As you may know, CDC estimates that 1 in 68 children has been identified having autism in communities across the United States. The 1 in 68 is so much more than just a number. It represents many families and communities, just like ours, who are living with autism. Our speaker tonight represents one of those families. Daniel Scher-Strom comes to us from Ontario, Canada. We were lucky to see his TED Talk, and if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend you look it up after tonight's program. It's called Dear Society, Signed Autism. And after seeing the TED Talk, we hoped there might be a chance we could entice Daniel to come down to our little awareness event program here in Atlanta, all the way from Toronto. And so we put an invitation out to him, and we were so delighted that he said yes, and that he's here tonight with his mother. We are so honored he's here, and that he's agreed to share with us, more importantly, his perspective on living with autism, his experiences, particularly around transitioning as an adult with autism and the challenges and joys that he has experienced. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Daniel. Daniel is quite accomplished. He's an accomplished writer. He's a professional speaker. He's an Asperger's advocate and educator. He's the co-founder of a company called Autism Goggles, which is dedicated to crafting impactful articles, videos, and workshops that help bring the experience of living with autism into sharp focus. Moreover, Daniel holds an honors degree in communication from the University of Ontario Institute of Technology. And we say this every year, but it really is true, that at CDC we are committed each and every day to doing all that we can to understand autism. But nothing we do could ever be as enlightening or as powerful as the words and experiences of individuals who are living with autism, who are willing to share those with us. So with that, I will turn it over now to our esteemed guest speaker, Daniel Scher-Strom.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Nicole. Yeah, I've been doing this for a little while, but this is actually my first time spreading to the States. Sorry, that's a little CDC humor. So I'm grateful for what I've achieved so far in my life, which is actually not in spite of being autistic. Autistic is actually the unique way that I've been wired, and so anything that I do is inextricably linked to that. Yes, I'm a kind and patient person, and I love humor, and I'm a university grad, a writer, a former video game journalist, and a wannabe actor. But as I try to keep up with the typical world, I can be the same clumsy, anxious, socially awkward, disorganized, forgetful, fashion-challenged insomniac with illegible handwriting and poor eye contact that I ever was. Though surprisingly, with all those charming selling points, I am still single. I'm a man with autism, trying to find his way in a world that honestly has little patience for autism. It's ironic. We're called inflexible by a system that's very set in its ways. We're accused of lacking empathy by those who don't know the depths of our suffering, and told that we don't understand the perspective of others by people who really don't get the autistic experience. So I've been trying to change people's minds about autism since I was a teen. Through writing and speaking events with my mother, our focus is on rebranding autism and moving perceptions of ASD from fear and apprehension to understanding and acceptance, to awareness that autism is just another way of being human. It's 2017, and still we're poorly understood and rarely accepted, resulting in a groundswell of autistics unable to cope with the transition to adult life. The relentless effort to make us something other than who we are can have devastating results. Our primary interactions with most people are corrective comments telling us that the way we are is wrong. People pathologize everything that we do and subject us to therapy to exorcise the coping mechanisms that we use. Is it any wonder that we might act out or shut down or give up trying? Today I'm going to share my perspective of living with Asperger's, or what's now called ASD Level 1. But I'd like to start by expressing respect for non-autistic individuals, non-verbal autistics. I once delivered a workshop called What Doctors Don't Tell You and Teachers Don't Know to about 50 families, addressing dozens of things that affect my life on a daily basis, like anxiety, sensory processing, grooming, academics, loneliness, sleep problems, etc. So I had a Q&A session at the end, and after that, one family remained, an elderly woman and her severely autistic, nonverbal, middle-aged son. And during my presentation, he sat in his chair, rocking back and forth, and turning around and around the toy truck that he brought with him. And it seemed like he wasn't paying attention. So they came up to me and my podium at the end, and his mother held a laminated sheet of the alphabet in front of him. And he started pointing to letters and spelling out a message that she then read aloud. "Thank you so much, Daniel, for telling people how we feel. We have so much in common." I stood silent and still for many seconds, trying to process what was going on. And then when I figured out this new reality, the man and I were able to have a great conversation for the next several minutes. It was a profound experience. A man likely assessed below the first percentile was expressing himself so eloquently, and there I was in the 99.9th percentile, unable to find my words. So from that day to this, I have assumed that everyone who is nonverbal can be considered competent, and I know that their participation is vital in order to get an accurate understanding of autism. Now, having said that, getting back to my mission to rebrand autism, last spring, as Nicole said, I had the honor of doing a TED Talk at York University in Toronto and share some ideas. And it was a really exciting platform. And as you heard, the CDC found me to be your keynote today through that event. But basically, I was invited to speak today because I'm autistic. I'm also 27, single, and I kind of agreed because I thought there might be some young video game loving women in the audience tonight. No? I know it's kind of a weird way to meet someone, but come on, it's not that different from an eHarmony ad. Hi, I'm Daniel. I hate toothbrushes. Sweet. I hate toothbrushes, loud noises, and washing my hair. Call me. Yeah, I understand. Not the greatest sales pitch, right? And yet, this is what happens to autistic people. We're summed up by the things that cause us problems. And what if that's how everyone was introduced? So I want you to think about the one or two things about you that you'd rather keep private. So let's say you're Brenda, the award-winning writer and loving mother of two, or Michael, the school teacher who volunteers at the animal rescue. And now let's say I introduce you to someone like this. Say hi to Brenda, the disorganized control freak, and Michael, the lazy, overdrawn couch potato. Yeah, you see what I'm getting at. Society evaluates autistic people by our distance from normal. The things that we do that are outside of the ordinary get added to a list of things to fix. And since we are different from typical people in how we learn, communicate, interact with others, and experience our environment, the list can get long. And the consequence is that kids on the spectrum grow up feeling broken, not believing in themselves or their futures. So awareness of autism-related difficulties is important. But what we're really eagerly waiting for, what we crucially need, are acceptance and understanding. Acceptance of the different ways that we experience the world. So right now, things are challenging. Let me tell you a story. I graduated university in 2013 and had a hard time finding work. I was accepted into a program that helps people like me to find a job. I spent hours sitting with the job developer as she worked to understand my strengths and challenges so that she could make a good employment match. For strengths, she learned that I'm a writer, a public speaker, a workshop facilitator with an honors degree in communications. And as far as challenges go, she said, I explained that I move slowly and I struggle with motor skills. The results of things called slow processing speed and developmental coordination disorder. So basically what that means is I'm what you'd call clumsy. It's hard for me to do work with my hands, like anchoring a steak with a knife and cutting it with a knife. And then, with a knife, eh? Over the next 4 months, I checked in with her weekly, and nothing. Then she calls me all excited. She found a job for me to apply to. I was pumped. That's great, I said. What is it? Anticipating an entry-level office or communications type job, and she was so happy to tell me, it's prep cook in a kitchen. Okay, awareness, yeah, understanding, not so much. So I said, well, thank you so much for finding me this opportunity, but I can't do that job given my fine motor challenges. Is there any way you could find me something that uses my communication degree to some extent? And she says, Daniel, that's perfect. You'll be able to communicate with the other staff in the kitchen. Yes. With unemployment rates for